everyone. Welcome to the Iron Rod and Potter's Vessels. And this morning, got a special guest with me, Miss Erica Cooper, and we're going to be talking about Operation Christmas Child. But before we do that, just want to do a little recap of yesterday, the sermon from Sunday. We were in Revelation chapter 7, going through the book of Revelation on Sunday mornings, and we've come to chapter 7. And in chapter 7 of Revelation, we see the 144,000. And many people wonder exactly what this number represents, because this number is a sum total of all the tribes of Israel. And many interpret this passage to say that these 144,000 are all ethnic Jews, and that's who the passage is speaking of. Others say, such as the Jehovah's Witnesses, that this 144,000 is the number of those who will inherit salvation and enter into heaven where God is seated, where Jehovah is. But I believe that the 144,000 is speaking of the sum total of the redeemed of all the earth. That is, Jews and Gentiles coming together as one and inheriting the kingdom of heaven. I understand it this way from Revelation 7 verse 9 that says, John says, "And after these things I saw a great multitude that could not be numbered from every tribe, tongue, and nation." And if we look at passages in the Old Testament, such as Isaiah chapter 11, 54, 56, and 66, it all gives the impression that Israel is going to become enlarged. It's going to grow. And how is it going to grow? Because people from the nations are going to join themselves to Israel to worship the one true God. And so that's just a little bit of what we talked about yesterday during the message. And now transitioning a little bit, we're going to talk about Operation Christmas Child. Operation Christmas Child has been something that's been a part of Bellevue for a long time. It was first started by Linda McAnally and Charlotte Taylor. I almost couldn't remember there for a minute. And they began it and did a wonderful job. And now Erica has taken over those duties. And so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about Operation Christmas Child and what that's all about.
Okay, great. First, Operation Christmas Child is a ministry of Samaritan's Purse. It was began in 1993. And they wanted a tangible way to go out and actually show what God's love was. And so this was a way for them to do that, to have these shoe boxes that they could present to these children. And then once the children received the shoe boxes, then they could go through this 12-step program called The Greatest Journey. And that's where they get to learn about Jesus, learn about what he's done for us, how they can follow him, and share him with others. So it's a really great ministry that everybody can support, because everybody can pack a shoebox that will be sent out to these kids. And since 1993, 244 million kids have received these shoeboxes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Now, how did you start doing this? How did you get involved with Operation Christmas Child?
Well, way back when Linda and Charlotte started it, I started packing shoeboxes. And they would have it in the basement, and it's a great ministry here in our church. And if you've never experienced it, it's one of my favorite times of the year. Everybody in the church can come together. But Charlotte came to me and said, it was time for them to step back for just a little bit. And so 2019 was the first year that I started leading the ministry for the church.
Yeah, and these shoe boxes, where all over the world do they go?
Well, there's 175 countries that these shoe boxes have gone to, but for Bellevue specifically, I had to write it down so I didn't leave any of the countries out. Our shoe boxes have gone to 15 different countries, including the Dominican Republic, Ghana, Mexico, Panama, Ecuador, Peru, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, hard to reach areas, which is a nice way of not actually saying exactly where they've gone, just for different political and religious reasons. The Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Chile, Malawi, Honduras, Southeast Asia, and Madagascar.
All
And
right.
so all of our boxes have gone there. And, you know, from the time that Charlotte and Linda started till now, we've shipped almost 20,000 boxes. We're getting close to that as part of the Bellevue ministry. And Samaritan's Purse really does count on churches like Bellevue to send these shoe boxes to them.
That's wonderful. You know, one of the countries you mentioned was Peru. And Jess and Joe Summerall, when Jess was the pastor here, he actually had the opportunity of going to Peru and distributing these shoe boxes personally over there. And so that's something neat to pack it over here and then for him to give it out over there.
Exactly.
So it's a wonderful thing. When it comes, so a lot of people don't know this, but what does it take to gather all the supplies needed to pack these shoe boxes?
Well, you kind of have to work backwards. So the shoe boxes are divided into whether it's a boy or a girl, and then there's 3 different age groups, so 2 to 4, 5 to 9, and 10 to 14. And you kind of have to figure out what you have, and we'll do fundraisers here at Bellevue, but it's $10 a box to ship. And so you kind of want to start out with how much money you have so you know how many you can ship. And then you go backwards and try to figure out, you know, how many you can ship. So about 600 is where I start. That's in my head, so we'll do 200 per age group. And we start shopping on Black Friday for the next year. So we'll do our packing party in November, and then I'll start, because you'll find all kinds of great deals, sales on Black Friday and then through Christmas and after the holidays. So we shop all year long. And every shoebox that we pack here, we try to put in school supplies, a t-shirt, and then all kinds of fun toys. So just whatever we can find, and then we buy in bulk.
Now, we have you here to help guide us as far as what we're buying and what we're packing. So say someone at their church doesn't have this Operation Christmas Child shoebox ministry. How do they know what to pack in these boxes?
Samaritan's Purse does have on their website a list of things to pack and things to not pack. For instance, soap. We've always tried to pack soap in the past, but that's getting boxes hung up in customs, so it's on their do not pack list. Anything with camo or war-related items, it's don't pack. No food, candy, anything liquid is also on the do not pack list. So they have a pretty big list of things that, you know, hey, stay away from these, but here's some ideas if you do want to pack. And they have like wow items so that they have a big gift, and then other smaller items that they can look for and pack in their boxes.
Yeah. And where can you find this list at?
I always just Google Samaritan's Purse.
Yeah.
And then they have, under their ministries, they'll have an Operation Christmas Child link, and you can go in there, and it's just right under that link.
So individuals in Operation Christmas Child have their own shoe boxes that they send to the church, a certain box that they send us. But you can use any shoe box.
Yes. I encourage all the families in here to pack their own shoe boxes. Any empty shoe box you have at your house, you can just fill it up. And obviously you can bring it back here. We are a collection site, and collection week is November 16th through the 23rd. And that way we can get all of our boxes back to the distribution center for them to go through and make sure that none of the do not send items get in the boxes. And then that's where they'll send them off to the countries. But yeah, any shoe box that you want to use and fill it with any item that you want. I think it's a great way for families to work together to show as a ministry how to give and what it means to give. Because a lot of times this may be the only gift that the child receives. And so you want to make sure that it's special, and teaching your children that, you know, they may not understand that marbles or dominoes are special, but they are to this kid that gets them that might not have those.
Right.
And so different countries, and it's really special to do it with your kids.
Now, you said that the drop-off location is Bellevue, and that's the 16th to the 23rd.
Yes.
When do we do our packing night?
Well, we
normally?
usually do it the 1st of November, somewhere in there. We don't have a date set for this year, but when we do, we'll make sure that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But prior to our packing party, we'll also have a folding night where we fold all of our shoe boxes and t-shirts and get ready for our packing party. But again, as we set that date, we'll make sure to let everybody know.
And if you're watching this and you're interested about Operation Christmas Child, and say you belong to a church that doesn't do this ministry, but you want to participate, we would invite you to join us
Yes.
during our packing night. And that will be made known to the public. We'll put it on Facebook, exactly what date that's going to be when we do set it. And encourage you to join us, see what it's like, and maybe start Operation Christmas Child at your own church.
Yes, it's great. And we actually had a couple of churches that came last year. They had never had a packing party and just kind of wanted to see what it was about. And we said, bring some church members and come. And so they got to see it, and hopefully either they'll start one at their church or they'll come and help us again, because it is such a great ministry for everybody.
And we are good Baptists. I mean, you're going to eat while you're here.
Yes,
So
we
that's
usually
another
have
reason to come.
a nice potluck.
Now, when I first came to Bellevue as pastor, now I grew up in this church. Me and my family joined about 1995-ish. And when I first came here, of course, I remember Operation Christmas Child, started by Linda and Charlotte. But when I became pastor here, almost 3 years ago now, I wanted to kind of do something for the community. We had Operation Christmas Child where we send these boxes abroad, but I wanted to try to do something in our local community. And so we started doing local shoe boxes for kids at school who may not have the means to have Christmas presents for the year. And in those boxes, we're able to put a lot more things than we are with the Operation Christmas Child boxes. We're able to do toolkits, and we're able to do clothing, soap, body wash, all these things. And how many kids have we helped so far?
60 kids. 60
kids through that. And it's
Yes.
only been going on just a couple of years that we've done that.
That is correct.
And so, we're going to continue to do that for our community as just a way to give back and make sure kids have some gifts when it comes to Christmas time. Now, this is not my podcast. Of course, everybody sees me every week. But this podcast, the Iron Rod and Potter's Vessels, if you notice it will say the Bellevue Baptist Church podcast. And so I want to, of course, we're going to talk about the Bible. We're going to talk about theology. We're going to talk about all that. But I also want to interview church members such as Erica. And so you get to know our church and the different ministries that we have going on here. And so as we wrap things up, tell us just a little bit about yourself personally. You know, when you first started coming to Bellevue, and just a little bit about yourself.
I first started coming to Bellevue in the 90s, early 90s. I was raised Catholic. And so Mom would take all of us girls over to Horseshoe, and that's where we attended. And there wasn't a lot of kids in that congregation over there. And my grandparents were members of Bellevue, and so we'd spend the nights on the weekends with them and get to come to church with them. And so I told Mom that I wanted to start coming to church here because all my friends were here. A lot of my friends were here. And so we decided to start coming to Bellevue as a family.
That's awesome. And, you know, you teach a Sunday school class.
I do.
You've taught different Sunday school classes throughout the years. What age group do you currently teach now?
Preschool through first grade.
Preschool through first grade. Well, it's a tough age.
They keep me on my toes.
Yeah. And you mentioned your grandparents that came here that you used to come with. That's Bob and Marie Morris. Bob and Marie Morris have been members of Bellevue Baptist Church for a very long time. In fact, the building we're in now is the third building that Bellevue has had. And Bob remembers the previous two buildings. So Bob is 94. He's 94 years old. He's been around a long time, but both of them have been faithful members of this church, and Erica's family also has as well. Well, anything else you can think of?
No, just like to encourage everybody when we announce the dates, just to invite you out. Again, it's a wonderful ministry. Everybody can participate, young and old. We just have so much fun.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the kids tell me it's one of their favorite nights here. We have a lot of help, with setup, if you want to volunteer to help set up. I've got Becky Cooper on beads. She's making bracelets and necklaces for our shoe boxes for the girls. And Mom actually gave me a lot of items that she had found when she went to Walmart on tax-free weekend. She picked up some stuff. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. And so if you want to participate and help, just see me, and I'd love to have help.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Hope everybody has a great Monday. Until next time, we'll see you later.